Welcome to another edition of the Will Be Blood Fight Show. I'm your host, Dave doing this. Okay, let's go in the aftermath of the fight between VALUEV versus HOLYFIELD. What happened? Okay, well, first off, I want to kind of start off, yeah, it was a boring fight. Yes, HOLYFIELD deserved it, but let's kind of break it down and see what happened with this fight. Well, when you think of VALUEV, a 7-foot heavyweight, that's what, 300 plus or so, you think of a mass destructive fighter, somebody that's got weight, somebody that's going to go in there and just kind of roll right through a smaller opponent. But instead, what we have with VALUEV is pretty much a gentle giant, a giant that doesn't like to apply pressure, a giant that doesn't like to conflict damage to his opponent. Okay, there's a couple of things in there that VALUEV just got to really correct, and pretty much I kind of covered it by being a gentle giant. If you watch the fight, him being so big, he was able to allow the much smaller, older fighter to look a lot fresher through the whole bout. Okay, he allowed him to dictate the whole fight, which means that, HOLYFIELD was bouncing around in the ring, which you normally would do to warm up when you start shadow boxing or doing the hand mitch or get the, or get the rope. That is something that is the norm for a fighter, is to bounce around the ring and really use that ring and stuff, and that's what it kind of looked like. It looked like a sparring session for certain points in that particular fight. Now, the other thing that VALUEV that you have to watch is that VALUEV never applied pressure. He didn't never cut the ring off. He did use his jab, but when he used this jab, he would really just stay in the same position that he was at, and then he would jab, okay? He didn't kind of walk in with the jab to kind of, cut the ring or push back HOLYFIELD to the ropes where he would have more success at. He didn't do that. He just stayed in the middle of the ring, and then he just jabbed, and he just followed his man, okay? That was another thing. He stood right there in the middle of the ring, and all he did was follow HOLYFIELD. He just kind of just looked at him while HOLYFIELD was bouncing around the ring, and doing exactly what HOLYFIELD wanted to do, which was come in and out, So those things there gotta kind of tell you that VALUEV doesn't have that killer instinct, okay? It's not in him, for HOLYFIELD too, being at whatever age, I can't remember, he's 46, 47 years old, or maybe 45, I'm not sure. But being at that age, VALUEV made him look a lot younger, stronger, and a lot quicker than what he normally is, okay? HOLYFIELD did do a good fight with this guy, being that VALUEV was not a pressure fighter. VALUEV is not the kind of guy that's going to cut the ring and come at you and use what is his greatest advantage, which would be his size and his weight. VALUEV didn't do any of that. So HOLYFIELD was able to really dictate what he wanted to do in this bout so that he could secure himself a win, hopefully hoping himself that he was going to get that one, but he did it, okay? There was another thing too, is which I kind of laughed at, and I was, laughing at him, and I was thinking about him, like, how do you really train for a guy that's like 7 foot? If you watch HOLYFIELD would throw his flurries and stuff, and his body shots would actually go below the bout, and then when he would try to throw his right hook or his left hook, it would really just catch the shoulder of VALUEV. It would never really catch the top, okay? The only thing that was really landing flush and it was landing regularly when he would throw it was the overhand right. But if you look at that overhand right, it was not the technical overhand right, which, the overhand right is normally when somebody jabs, you open the book and then you're throwing it over the jab to catch him, okay, in the side of the face. With VALUEV, HOLYFIELD would have to open the book and then throw it over, okay? Like if he was spiking a volleyball, he would just throw it right over, and that was the only way he can land on the side of the face of VALUEV. And you know what? And he was successful by doing it. He was landing, he was, racking up the points when he would throw the overhand right, okay? But like I said, it goes back to VALUEV. He did get the win. Did he deserve the win? Of course not. The audience saw it. Everybody, the viewers, the commentators, everybody saw that this fight was not for VALUEV. It was in the bag for HOLYFIELD. And, the sad part is that if we, as fight fans, we want HOLYFIELD to retire and just end his legacy. This is a great fighter. There's no need for him to keep going where he can get severely hurt, and he's not the same HOLYFIELD of the normal which we are used to seeing, okay? But unfortunately, this just added a boost to his confidence in him still trying to go for the heavyweight championship bout, okay? Because he's not going to have that success with the Latimer Klitschko's or with David Haye or with even Chris the Nightmare. These guys are going to just, bulldozer right over him, and they're going to make him feel his age, and they're going to make him feel that, you didn't hang them up. You should have hung them up a long time ago. So you got to look at the most dominant heavyweights out there that are big man, strong, and have killer instincts are going to be the Klitschko brothers, okay? VALUEV, who is he going to fight? You know what? Now that he got this gift decision, I like to see him fight one of the Klitschko's. So it's kind of like a little payback for Don King and VALUEV, you know, by getting in there with a guy that's not going to let you get away with that. Somebody that has a greater chance of knocking you out or just beating you so bad that you're not going to come out of the corner, you know, because of the fact that now you're in there with a hungry, young, prime heavyweight that is a heavyweight and that looks like the most dominant heavyweight of our heavyweight division. So, you know, it's a bad thing for Holyfield about the decision, but it's also a good thing for Holyfield. And if you're a Holyfield follower, it's still a good thing because guess what? He's not going to retire. He's not going to hang up his gloves. He just walked away from fighting a 7-foot guy, and that just built up to his confidence and his reasoning of staying in the heavyweight division in hopes of winning a title. Okay?